welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenna. If you're new here, today I wanted to answer the question of what does a digital marketing specialist do? So I work as a digital marketing specialist for a marketing agency. I want to talk about kind of these 6 pillars of job responsibilities and then break down some things that will often filter in to this job position or to digital marketing in general that shouldn't necessarily filter in. So I'm going to get into that and we will talk about this job position together. So let's get into it. So the first of the job responsibilities is strategy and brand development. Now, not every digital marketing specialist will be involved in strategy or brand development. It largely depends on the company that you work for. If you are a digital marketing specialist for a company that is not a marketing agency versus a marketing agency, if you're working for a marketing agency specifically, odds are that you will impact or touch strategy and brand development in some way. So specifically, my position is under our strategy department within the agency that I work for. So I work alongside others within the strategy department to develop brands, to create strategy decks, to provide feedback and expertise when it comes to the market, to do competitive research and analysis, and even to create paid media plans. So all of that kind of falls under the umbrella of strategy and strategy work. Second is media buying or media placement. There are kind of 3 pillars underneath this one. One, you are expected to be the expert as a digital marketing specialist on all available media placements. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to have equal expertise, but just an awareness of why money should be spent where, what is more strategic, why might one campaign be placed on this platform and another campaign be placed on this platform. So you need to know the merits of each platform in order to stay up to date on trends and on strategy and in order to provide educated consulting. The second pillar under this job responsibility is actually placing those ads. So you are the expert on the media platforms and you're the one to actually implement the ad placement. 9 times out of 10, the digital marketing specialist will be doing this for a variety of clients. So you are the one to actually set up the campaign, the ad set, and the ad for a given campaign that you are then recommending and designing. So there is a lot of marketing knowledge that goes into it, specifically on digital platforms. So digital platforms may include, but is not limited to, Google Ads, which YouTube will fall under, and so will search, and so will display. There are a few dynamic options you can choose, such as Performance Max, that will do a combination of things on Google-owned platforms. There is also Meta, and Meta represents both Facebook and Instagram ads. It includes both static imagery, also carousel posts, also stories, and also reels. So all of that falls under Meta ads and will be placed through Meta. There's a combination of audio and visual on a platform such as Spotify. And then also there is OTT, which will be placed on streaming platforms, a little bit different from broadcast. And then there is also, digital out-of-home advertising that could talk about a dynamic billboard that could be in an airport, in a restaurant, at a gas station, etc. So those are the main digital placements that you'll primarily be considered an expert on and likely doing some placement with. But again, it largely depends on who you're working for, the size of your marketing agency, and whether or not those specific placements will work for that specific client and for that client's budget. So it all just depends on a variety of factors there. So the third pillar underneath this job responsibility is to be an expert on and to coordinate with teams that work for third-party type companies that pull in tracking or analytics or help do the placement for certain ads within a certain campaign. But again, it will depend largely on how this is set up, but oftentimes, since you are the one with the expertise and knowledge, you are considered the point of contact. The third area of responsibility underneath a digital marketing specialist is campaign monitoring. So this is just after you have placed the ad, after it has gone live, you are responsible for maintaining the quality of the campaign. So you're tracking, is this campaign following budget, which creatives are outperforming other creatives. This may involve making strategic adjustments for low-performing campaigns or highlighting high-performing campaigns and why those campaigns are performing highly. It's also pulling specific analytics, running creative testing, or retargeting campaigns will all fall within ongoing campaign monitoring. And then the fourth area of responsibility is then analytics reporting. So after you are monitoring your campaign on an ongoing basis, you will have to pull analytics and report on the performance of that campaign. And so this is often done on a monthly basis and also a quarterly and an annual basis. After you pull those analytics, then often you are asked to report on KPIs, key performance metrics. You look at whether you are hitting goal or not. You write an executive summary of those findings and then you present those findings. So it depends again on the company how things are set up, whether you're actually presenting the report or not. And then the fifth area of job responsibility is actually internal marketing. So this may be more heavy for certain roles than for others. For me right now, it is fairly light and a majority of people on my team will cover it to some capacity. So promoting your agency or your business on the channels that they need in order to get out into the world and get new leads or get success, however success may look for them. So this will and may involve creating internal campaigns, placing buys. If your company would like to place paid media buys themselves, you can be the one to then place and implement and advise on those campaigns. This could involve the upkeep of social media accounts as well. If you're working for a smaller company, I think it is far more likely that you are actually posting to and upkeeping all social media accounts for that company versus if you work for a larger company or a larger agency. Odds are they have a social media specialist who actually posts to and upkeeps their social media accounts completely organically on their own. So the two, paid media versus organic growth, will just involve completely different mindsets, and so not often will they intersect within the same role. And then the sixth and final area that you may be responsible for, although it's kind of a smaller little bullet point, is just coordinating and communicating between various departments and individuals within your organization. So often you will be the one to get assets, the creatives, in order to post for the client on behalf of the client or on behalf of your company. You then have to get the creative from someone, and hopefully you're not creating it yourself. I will get into that in just a second, but often you will work with a design team, graphic designers, to then grab that creative and then implement it within your paid media strategy. It may also involve talking to account executives in order to get the scoop on a client on what their priorities are because they know them best. And it may also involve talking to other people of your marketing team, coordinating with their efforts in terms of strategy. And it can also involve talking to a project manager on where this is in terms of the big picture of where this client is going. So it just depends on what the needs are, but you will be talking with and coordinating between many different areas within your organization. So now that we have talked about these 6 areas of job responsibilities for a digital marketing specialist and what a digital marketer even does in the first place, I want to talk about 3 things that may filter into your position that you should not be responsible for. So in terms of the digital marketing role, I believe that there is a lot of confusion and smoke and mirrors about what even digital marketers do. And because of that, when people hear digital, they may think anything that involves a computer that I don't understand, you get, especially within a smaller company who is hiring a digital marketing specialist in order to handle all things digital that they may want off their plate. And so I will break down 3 areas that you may end up being responsible for. You either need to outsource or communicate to your boss because no person can be an expert on all of these positions. So number 1 is design. If you're a digital marketing specialist, you should not be creating the assets yourself. Whether this is photo or whether this is digital, the skill set and job responsibilities of a designer, graphic designer, photographer, videographer is far different from a digital marketing specialist. A digital marketing specialist should be more in the realm of strategy and implementation and analysis, then they should be in the space of creation. And so these are way different headspaces. They're way different realms of the marketing journey. They closely relate to each other. They should absolutely communicate on a regular basis, but they're far, far different. The second thing that may fall on your plate that you should not be responsible for is website development and or slightly controversial, but and or SEO. In terms of if you're working for a smaller company that may not understand digital marketing and they don't have a good division of job responsibilities, you may find yourself responsible for website development, solving technical issues, or building out the SEO of different web pages. Because people see website and social media as all within the same realm, there is not a true understanding of the difference between paid media and strategy and marketing strategy. And then over here, there's a technical solve. There will be some overlap mentally between the two, but it's different enough to require far different skill sets. And then the last thing that may fall on your plate that you should not be responsible for is specifically selling the product itself. Now, you will consult, you are the expert on this, but there should be different roles for the person who is implementing paid media and for the person who is selling the client. So you may be roped in with these conversations for actually selling the client, but it should be a completely different person because, again, completely different mindset, skill set. So I would say that, if it ends up on your plate to some capacity, it's not the end of the world because it's natural. As you're talking about, everyone is a salesperson to some extent within their industry. If you're talking passionately about a subject and you're creating a want and desire within the person who you're speaking to, you, like it or not, are selling to them. So I wouldn't say all selling completely off your plate. I would just say that new business outreach, specifically the job responsibilities that may involve networking, should fall on someone else's plate because it's too time consuming for you specifically to be in charge of those initiatives. So that is it. That is the summary of what a digital marketing specialist does from my own personal experience. As always, if you like this video, please remember to give it just a little thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for content that is similar to this. Thank you again so much for watching, friends. I will catch you in the next video.